Hello, my worshippers. The Bhagavad Gita or the Song of Divine. We are starting the Bhagavad Gita or Song of Divine with Sanskrit text and English translation. First of all, Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravanam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Gita Press Gorakhpur, India. Publisher's note: as a book of scripture, the Bhagavad Gita has assumed a position of universal interest. Its teachings have gained appreciation not only in India but far beyond its border. Our Gita library alone comprises about 1400 editions of the Bhagavad Gita published in 34 different languages, including 8 foreign languages. This is our humble attempt for bringing out this English edition of the Gita in pocket size and in a popular form. We trust it will find favor with the English reading public. The English translation of this edition has been based on the Hindi rendering of the Gita made by Sant Jayadayal Goenka, appearing in the Gita Tattva number of the Hindi monthly Kalyan, published by the Gita Press. In preparing the present English translation, the translators have made use every now and then of other English translation of Gita, and we express our grateful acknowledgement for the same. In order to add the utility of this small volume, an introduction by Sant Jayadayal Goenka and a synopsis of the Gita have been prefixed to the translation, and an article by the same author bearing on the Gita has been appended thereto. This the pictures shown with cow as a friend, as a deed, and with a peacock near the Shri Krishna, having flute in their hand and lotus flower in their other hand. So let's talk about the greatness of the Gita. Truly speaking, none has power to describe in words the glory of the Gita, for it is a book containing highest esoteric doctrines. It is essence of Vedas. Its language is so sweet and simple that man can easily understand it after a little practice. But the thoughts are so deep that none can arrive at there, and even after constant study throughout a lifetime. Every day they exhibit new facets of truth, therefore, they remain ever fresh and new. When scrutinized with a concentrated mind, possessed of faith and reverence, every verse of the Gita will clearly appear as full of the deepest mystery. The manner in which the Gita describes the virtue, glory, and secrets of the God is hardly found in any other scripture, for in other books the teachings are generally mixed up, more or less, with worldly subjects, but the Gita uttered by the Lord is such an incomparable book that not a word will be found in it which is devoid of some scriptural import. That is why Shri Vedavyasa, after describing the Gita in Mahabharata, said in the end, Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanye Shastra Vistare Ya Swayam Padmabhasya Mukh Padma Dvini Srita. The Gita should be carefully studied is that after reading the text, its meaning and idea should be gathered and held in the mind. It emanated from the lotus like lips of Bhagwan Vishnu himself, from whose navel sprung the lotus. What is the use of studying the other elaborate scriptures? Moreover, the Lord himself also described its the glory at the end of the Gita, white chapter 18th verses 68 to 71. All men, irrespective of varna and ashrama, possesses the right to study the Gita. The only qualification needed of faith, reverence for it is God's injunction to propagate the Gita only among his devotees, and he further said that women, Vaishya, Sudra, and even man born of sinful worms can attain the supreme state of salvation if they cultivate devotion to him, and through worship of him by the performance of their own nature born duties, the man can attain perfection. Chapter 18 verses 46. Reflection on these verses make it clear that all men have equal right to God realization. But owing to lack of understanding of the truth behind this subject, many persons who have only heard the name of the Gita make this assertion that book is intended only for monks and ascetics, and they refrain from placing the book for study before their children out of fear lest through knowledge of the Gita the latter renounce their hearts and homes and turn ascetics themselves. But they should consider the fact that Arjuna, who had, due to infatuation, prepared himself to turn away from the duty of Kshatriya and live on alms, being introduced by the most secret and mysterious teachings of the Gita, lived the life of a householder all his life and performed his duties, how can that very Gita produce this dramatically opposite result? Therefore, men who desire their own welfare should give up this delusion and with utmost faith and reverence induce their children to study the Gita, understanding the meaning and the underlying idea of every verse. And while studying and reflecting on it themselves, would, according to the injunction of the Lord, earnestly take to spiritual practice. For obtaining this most valuable human body, it is improper to waste even a single moment of one's time in indulging in transient enjoyment, the root of sorrow. So, this is our greatness of the Gita. We are pausing here now and we'll start tomorrow. Thank you.